I would like to talk about immediacy and Uta Hagen's lost object exercise. Do you strive to live truthfully without anticipating as an actor? In this video, I will explore what immediacy really means, why Uta Hagen championed it, and how the lost object exercise helps actors achieve it. So, what does immediacy mean in acting? According to Uta Hagen, immediacy is the actor's full presence in the present moment and the ability to respond as if everything is happening for the first time, even if the actor has rehearsed 100 million times. In her book, The Challenge for the Actor, she writes, and I quote, "You must be able to ask, what is happening to me right now, and respond to that with a truth, not a performance." Immediacy is not just about spontaneity for its own sake. It is about rooting yourself fully in the imaginary circumstances so that you behave with authentic spontaneity that is informed by the specific nature of the given circumstances of the character. You react like a human being would, not the way that an actor thinks that they should. Uta Hagen's other famous book, Respect for Acting, is a book that I was exposed to very early on when I first started to explore the art form of acting, and it still provides me with inspiration even now, just in terms of Uta Hagen's passion for how the mind of an actor should work when looking at their everyday lives and how they behave and how they respond to things, even something as simple as a sensory exercise of imagining that you are dealing with a hot oven, and if the oven is not actually hot, how you would open it differently, knowing that it's 450 degrees, how you would handle the casserole dish as you pull it out of the oven, and how you would move away from the heat as you open the oven door. It was things like that and her passion for these things that really resonates in that book. Also, in her book, Respect for Acting, she describes an exercise that is extremely profound and useful for every actor and works on several different levels. It is called the lost object exercise. Now, on the surface, this exercise seems very straightforward and very simple. The actor must search for a lost item in a room and do it truthfully. Now, when you set up this exercise, of course, you're going to know where the object is hidden, and you're actually going to hide the object yourself. So that's the first challenge, is you know where the object is, and you're trying to fulfill the truth of the search without anticipating where the object is actually hidden. So the object is a real object, not a mimed object. And the loss of this object is incredibly meaningful to cause genuine concern, frustration, and actually even a more life or death urgency. Now, my mentor, Susan Batson, expanded on this exercise brilliantly, and you can find a description of this particular exercise in her book, Truth. But essentially, what Miss Batson added to the exercise is an endowment principle of how to endow the object with a very deep human need. And this is homework that you would do before attempting the exercise, where you sit down with the actual object, which could mean nothing to you. The object itself does not necessarily have to mean anything. You would endow the object with a need. In other words, this object would be directly connected to your need for love, or your need to be good enough, or your need to win, or your need to feel safe. And you may connect this need to a person, like, in other words, your mother's love, or a hug or an embrace from your mother or your father, or words or a look from your mother or father that portrays love and acceptance and safety. And while you're sitting down with that object, as you hold it in your hands, you would imagine that this need is fulfilled. And you can do it sensorially, like you're getting the hug, or you're hearing the words of encouragement, or you're seeing the look in this person's eyes when they're sending you comfort or warmth or safety or support. And you fill yourself up with the sensation, connecting it to the object once again, and then you go put the object in another room where you can't see it and you're nowhere near it, and you come back and sit down without the object in your hand. And when you don't have that object, your need, this particular need, is unfulfilled. And your imagination begins to take hold of the endowment. And this is homework to help you associate the object with an unfulfilled need. Now think about it. Have you ever lost an object that really is the most mundane thing on the planet? Maybe it's, your keys, or a cell phone, or a pen, and the object itself is replaceable. Your driver's license or your credit card, your wallet. All these things are, if you really think about it, you could make some phone calls and figure out the situation, and you wouldn't die without having this object. But if you endow the object with a need, that's a different story. And how many times have you looked for something, have not been able to find it, and went absolute apeshit? And then maybe you find it and it's in some crazy obvious place, and you're sitting there reflecting on how you reacted and behaved when this thing was lost. And how many times have you said, wow, why did I take that so far? This is very human, and it's very good to explore this within the framework of the art form of acting, to learn about what this means on a human level, and explore the truth of how something like this unfolds. So Miss Batson incorporated the endowment of the object. The rest of the exercise was very rooted in Uta Hagen's principles. Searching for an object in this framework is so much more than just a practical task for the actor. It really becomes a laboratory in what it means to be in your human presence. Here's what it does. Number one, it forces the actor to be in the now, in the present moment. You can't act losing something. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. Searching for something engages the body, the mind, and your relationship to the need in a present tense pursuit. So you must remember when you last saw the object, consider what it means to you and what the consequences are to not have the object right now, and react in real time when your search fails and then when it finally succeeds. It is not a performance. It is a real problem that requires real attention. It is also important to create an imaginary circumstance around losing this object, to understand how, as an actor, do I create a sense of stakes. So it's not just a casual day. In other words, maybe you're getting ready to do a huge audition or a huge job interview, or you got a call from your family and there's a family emergency and you're packing to get ready to go to the airport, and maybe you have 5 minutes before the car is downstairs to pick you up. The circumstance that you create is a framework only for your belief system and something to elevate the drama for when you lose the object. And here's something that came up in class occasionally when an actor attempted this exercise. They had to be on a plane, and they found the object quite quickly because the need was actually on the circumstance that they had to be at the airport on time. So our adjustment was for the actor to put more of an investment in endowing the object itself with the need. Therefore, maybe the actor was going to miss the plane because the object is more important. So once I posed that as an option, the actor's eyes popped out of her head, and it was a real dilemma for her to even imagine. And sure enough, she came back and attempted the exercise again with that adjustment. She did miss the plane, and then the drama exploded on the stage. So it's very interesting to think about how you incorporate endowing the object with a life or death need, and how that comes into play in your circumstantial structure. The second thing that this exercise provides for the actor, it breaks the actor's habits. Some actors fall into acting for results, or in other words, planning their reactions. The lost object neutralizes this by forcing you as the actor to react to real conditions in the room. The object's absence, the limitations of space, the way that you truthfully search for something is unique to you. We all have our own specific habits, so there's no right way to perform the exercise. It only works if you're fully and truthfully engaged in the task of searching. Searching, remembering, hoping, doubting. The third thing that it provides for the actor, which is one of the most important, I believe, it connects need to action. If you have an emotional value in that object, the search automatically has life or death stakes. You're not just completing a task, you're emotionally involved. The audience not only sees your action, but sees the meaning behind your action. And that is what Uta Hagen really meant by truthful behavior. Now, the lost object is not just an isolated exercise. It is real training that can support you as an actor in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Rather than the lost object being a standalone exercise, Uta Hagen considered it to be a building block, one that trains the actor to stay fully immersed inside of the action. So in a scene, for example, we often lose immediacy because we're anticipating what comes next. We anticipate the lines, or we try to deliver the emotions on cue. However, if you've trained your body and your instrument to remain in the moment and in the process of discovering something, like we do in real life, and as you do in the lost object exercise, you are more likely to approach your scenes and your scene work in the same way, even if you've rehearsed it millions of times. It is the actor's job to live the moments in a drama truthfully, not perform them. The lost object also teaches the actor how to truthfully be in pursuit of something. And this transfers directly into scene work. When the character always wants something, it might be a person, or an answer, or to get their need fulfilled. Uta Hagen believed that every moment on stage should be animated by a real objective, a task, a need, a desire, and that this thing really should matter right now, not in a theoretical way or as an idea, but viscerally in an immediate and human way. Exploring the lost object exercise makes this tangible. It shows the actor how to stay in pursuit, to have a need inside of your body, and that need has a life of its own, and all you have to do is keep moving forward and keep going after the thing and stay truthful and stay in discovery. And as a result of that momentum, the life and the emotions will all take care of themselves. They will come. So here's how to practice this at home. Set up the lost and found situation in your house. Use your keys, your cell phone, a pen, a pair of scissors. Definitely practice the endowment process. You could do this in the morning before you try the exercise. You could do it the day before. Doesn't matter, but it should be at some point before you explore it so that it has time to work on your unconscious. Build an imaginary circumstance around you. What's happening in your life at this point? Are you getting ready to go somewhere? Give the circumstance some level of importance in terms of why you need your keys, why you need your cell phone, why you need your scissors, whatever it is. Make sure you have enough possible places to conduct your search. You never want to pantomime the searching. You want it to be rooted and real. And also, remember that we all have our own unique way of searching. Sometimes we go back to the same spot over and over again, even though we really truly looked and it wasn't there. Sometimes we'll look for a big object underneath a sheet of paper. It can get crazy and absurd. And this is something that you definitely want to embrace and incorporate into your exploration. Last but not least, let go and let the moment teach you. And this is how an actor should approach every scene, even rehearsed scenes. I don't know what's going to happen next. What am I learning each and every moment? Am I getting what I need? Am I in pursuit of what I need in a truthful way? Also, am I in the moment even if I don't know what I want to do yet? If you have structured your work and prepared and built your foundation, everything will arise in unexpected and surprising ways. Uta Hagen's concept of immediacy and her exercises such as the lost object exercise point the actor to one central truth. Acting is doing. It's not emoting, it's not pretending, and it's not demonstrating. By engaging fully and truthfully in the task with emotional investment, actors stop performing and start being. And in that state of being, something magical always happens. So next time you're on stage or on set, ask yourself, am I showing or am I living truthfully? Because living truthfully opens you up to greatness. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click on the description below for links to our website and to learn more about the new Collective Acting Studio and our private coaching membership. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.